Hi everybody, Doug Backinger, Vice President of Sales, Caster Concepts. A typical question we get asked for high temp applications is, what do I need to consider if I have to move my casters into an oven or an elevated temperature area? The first thing you need to consider is grease. So grease for your wheels, grease for your swivel section. Standard grease, if you just buy a caster off the shelf or a catalog item from us, is going to come with standard low temperature grease. Should work fine up to about 150 degrees, maybe even slightly above that, but it will start to liquefy and run out of the wheels and the swivel sections. So the first thing to do is switch to a high temperature grease. The second thing to consider is the bearing in your wheel. Kind of the same thing with the grease. As materials heat up, they expand. So you need to make sure that your bearings have the proper clearances. So they do make bearings with looser clearances for elevated temperatures. So this primarily involves like precision ball bearings or tapered roller bearings. There is a kind of a standard roller bearing used in the caster industry. This would be probably for even higher temperatures. It has the most internal clearances. It also isn't good for like being towed. So it's pretty much like a straight on and straight back application, like a standard caster roller bearing would be best. Otherwise, if you have to pull this vehicle out, move it around a facility, tow it around, you're going to want to go with tapered bearings or ball bearings with extra clearance built into the bearing. So the third thing to consider would be the actual swivel section design. So with Caster Concepts, we have a maintenance-free line. This we don't really recommend for elevated temperatures. The bearings are sealed. There's only one type of grease. So once you start getting above 150 degrees, that grease comes out and you lose the benefit of it being maintenance-free. So we do recommend a caster that you have to maintain. Kingpinless would be the first choice. So again, with that swivel section design, there are enough internal clearances to allow for expansion without destroying anything. And you can basically change out the grease to whatever you need to change it out to. Second to kingpinless would be a standard kingpin design with ball bearings as the load bearings. So again, you have internal clearances. The only thing you have to consider here is tapered bearings typically used as kind of the secondary thrust load bearing element. So again, you would want to make sure that that has the proper clearances designed in. And now the fourth thing to consider for extreme applications is like if you're above 600 degrees Fahrenheit, now you're starting to affect the strength of steel. So at 1100 degrees, steel is reduced, I think, to about 50% strength. So if you have extreme temperature applications, you really want to consider the entire caster design to make sure that you have enough load capacity. So again, high temperature applications, grease is the main thing, internal clearances on your bearings, both in the wheel and the swivel section, and then for extreme temperatures, you'd want to look at overall load capacity.